and Recipes. I am Kevin, and guess what? Tonight we're going back to the Blackstone. You've seen a bunch on my LSG, and tonight we're gonna use my side burner and the griddle. What we're gonna do tonight, as you read in the title, we're gonna make some homemade tomato soup from tomatoes from my garden. And check this out. These are nice and red. Look at this. Let me grab this one. Grab this one. Get a couple more. Okay. All right, how about that? Got fresh, ripe tomatoes off of our tomato plant. Let's get inside. I'll show you how we're gonna put it together. We'll come back out. We'll use our side burner for the tomato soup, and we'll use our Blackstone Griddle top for our grilled cheese sandwiches. All right, let's go inside, get that ready. We'll be right back out. All right, so our tomato soup, it's got, you could use a medium onion, that's half a large onion, tomatoes, garlic, salt, and chicken stock. To start off, I got my Farberware Keep Sharp knife. We love this knife. It's really affordable. It was like 10, 11 bucks on Amazon. Anyway, I'm gonna dice up my tomatoes and I'm gonna put them in my measuring cup over there until I can measure up to 4 cups of diced tomatoes, fresh diced. And I added an extra one. I used 8 total. Look at that. Look how ripe those are. Then you want to slice up your onion. You don't need to dice it. You can just slice it. Add the tomatoes to your pan. Get your onions in the pan. And then I'm going to get 4 teaspoons of garlic, minced garlic. You can have 4 cloves if you want. And then 2 cups of chicken stock. Mix that up real good and take it outside. All right, let's get our side burner lit. Whoops, wrong one. Back one. We're going to use that one. Here's the beginning of our tomato soup. I'm going to get it on here. And what I want to do is I want to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to turn it down and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. I'm going to cover this up. We'll be back in a second as soon as I get to boiling. All right, let's see how our tomatoes are doing. So getting a good boil going here. Okay, now after you get this thing boiling, I'm just going to turn it down, and I'm going to let this simmer for about 20 minutes. Okay, so while my tomatoes and onions and garlic simmer for about 20 minutes, just a quick story. You know, you could usually, I think people use Roma tomatoes. Well, when I bought these tomato plants, I thought I was buying Roma tomatoes. There was a Roma tomato there and another one, and I wanted 2, so I just grabbed them both. When I got home, one was Roma and one was this. I don't know what they are. I think they're probably an early girl or something like that. They're pretty meaty, so they'll do really well with this soup. And this is just a basic tomato soup, nothing fancy. You know, I mean, if you like fancy gourmet cooking, go check out Susan at Rhubarb and Cod. Oh my gosh, she can turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. But we've been getting a lot of tomatoes off of that plant. Some are small, some are nice size for burgers. And anyway, just wanted to share that with you about my tomato plants. That tomato plant overgrew my Roma. My Roma has like 2 tomatoes on it. And it actually overgrew into my jalapenos. And luckily my serranos are separated from that tomato plant. It's just taken over everything. Some years it does that, and other years we don't get any. So anyway, we'll let that go for 20 minutes and we'll be back. The second step is tomatoes are just about ready in about 5 minutes. When I take the tomatoes out, we'll be straining them into a bowl, and then some flour and butter to make a little bit of roux. We're going to add, after we put it back in the pan with the roux, then we're going to add some salt. I'm going to actually add about a tablespoon of basil, not fresh, and that's when we're going to salt and actually add maybe a teaspoon of sugar. So stay tuned. All right, we've been going for 20 minutes on a simmer. Just give that a quick stir. Now we're going to take this off. Now you can take this and put it in a blender or in a food processor, but what I'm going to use is an immersion blender out here, and we're going to get this all blended up, strain it, and get it back on here to finish cooking. Bring my pot over here, just like that. Set that there. I'm going to get my immersion blender. And what we want to do is just blend up all the tomatoes and the onions. Okay, let's see how we did. Don't see any big chunks of onions or big chunks of tomatoes. So that's good. Set that back there. And now what we're going to do is strain this. Move this over. And we will strain it. That's just to get any skin or larger bits out. While that strains, let's get back over to the burner and make our roux. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is get a couple of tablespoons of butter in there. Get that melted and get that stuff off the sides, it's fine. Adds more flavor. Alright. So I'm going to add my flour in there a little bit at a time. It's a couple tablespoons of butter and a couple tablespoons of flour. We're doing all right. All right, we'll get that all in there. See how that is? I'll let that cook just a minute, cook off the floury taste. Okay, roux's been going about a minute or so, a little over a minute. We'll add back in our strained tomato sauce, tomato soup. Add it a little bit at a time. All right. Now this is where you're going to add your salt. Add it to your taste. I'm going to start with, we're going to start with a teaspoon because of, you know, all those fresh tomatoes. They're going to need some salt. I might need to add some more. I'm going to add my tablespoon of basil in there because I like basil, like the flavor of it. And the sugar is optional. Sugar's optional, but we're going to go for it. And I'm going to get the Blackstone heated up and we're going to make our grilled cheese sandwiches while this is simmering. We're just doing some basic grilled cheese. We're using butter. My wife wants American. I'm using Havarti. And that's it. Basic grilled cheese. Sometimes I use mayonnaise. Most of the time I use butter. Let me know what you guys use on your grilled cheese. All right, so we're just going to lay down our bread. Well, that griddle is hot. One's going to be American cheese, and one is going to be Havarti. And I am going to use 2 pieces of Havarti. Okay? And all you do is cap it off. And hopefully my bottoms aren't burning because the grill is really hot. I want that cheese to have a chance to melt. Look at that. Nice golden brown. Check our tomato soup. It's looking like it's doing really good. It smells wonderful. Okay. And I'm going to get a tiny finger taste of that. It's good for me. I know my wife is going to add salt. I'm not a huge salt fan, but you know, salt is necessary in some recipes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and just let it sit while I grill cheese, so hopefully it cools down enough so we can take a taste. Look at those. All right, now we're going to get fancy with these grilled cheese sandwiches and cut them diagonally. I've got mine with the Havarti cheese, and my wife's with the American cheese. That's what hers looks like, and now check out how cheesy mine looked like. Oh yeah. All right, now I'm going to ladle in some of this tomato soup into my bowl. This is fresh garden tomatoes. Get 3 scoops in there. Yeah, look at that. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. You can't beat that. Okay, there you go. Homemade fresh garden tomato soup. Hey, if you need ideas on what to do with all the tomatoes you got in your garden, make some tomato soup. I guarantee you'll love it. And like I said, this is just a basic tomato soup. Let's take a quick taste test for you. It smells so good. You know, once you make this, you're not even going to want to eat that canned tomato soup stuff. This is so good. And of course, the classic tomato soup and grilled cheese. Look at that. I made my grilled cheese with havarti. I'm telling you. That's classic right there. All right. Again, looking for something to do with those tomatoes, make some tomato soup. This is outstanding. Once again, check it out. I'm gonna take another bite. That is so good. All right, thanks for watching. I'm gonna get inside and we're gonna eat this. Come back Mondays and Thursdays. Ring the bell so you know it's either Monday or Thursday to see a new video, a new recipe, something delicious. We'll see you the next time.